And welcome to part 2 of the Sonic the Hedgehog MD commentary. Man, those cutscenes are just seamless. Honestly, if these cutscenes were around when Extended Edition was being developed, I do feel that, I do feel that these cutscenes, or at least something similar, would probably be implemented in a complete version of Extended Edition. What I personally enjoyed about Extended Edition, even though it was just a Green Hill demo, it really showed that the Sonic Advance 3 formula does actually serve a good purpose. And I guess that's kind of one of the reasons why, because I've said this a good amount of times over the years, as it was mentioned in the Sonic Hacking Contest 11 results show on Elliot Law's channel on Mega G-Wolf back in 2013. Originally, the S-Factor and Extended Edition were supposed to have lock-on technology with each other, and that's how, one, you would get all the other unlockable characters in the S-Factor 13, and number two, that's how, I guess that's how the quote-unquote adventure fields would be. There would be small miniature levels with each having their own unique thing. So you'd have rings to go into each individual act, and I think there would also be unique locations for bonus areas. I think the ROM hack Sonic the Hedgehog Color Contrast also tried to do the same thing. I haven't played Color Contrast in years. In fact, I still need to do a complete session of that. Hey, since I'm already doing this under the since virtually every ROM hack that I'll ever touch will be under its respective original title, or at least the source title name, yeah, that'll show up as the Sonic the Hedgehog MD entry eventually. That'll be fun. Hey, we just heard drowning music. Honestly, the drowning music, when we got to Vivid Sound Hybrid Colors, or what you've probably heard on here as Sonic Adventure 6, that was peak drowning music. Sonic Team has not had a better track since then. If memory serves correctly, that was the Amsterdam Session Orchestra that composed that track, right? Especially when those drums start kicking in and it sounds like, a heartbeat is just kicking up like this. Yeah, it just cries out Fear Effect. Not the game. I haven't actually touched Fear Effect because when most of us were growing up, when it came to survival horror, I didn't grow up with all those titles that we all love and know. I didn't grow up with Resident Evil, Fear Effect, or Deep Fear. Now, for those of you that are unaware, I actually did get the Japanese Sega Saturn version of Deep Fear back in 2015. This was when I was going on a Japanese Saturn disc collection binge. Now, of course, Deep Fear was the final title to be released for the Sega Saturn in Europe. And honestly, I probably should have gotten the European version, but have you seen the prices of the European Sega Saturn games? European prices are a disaster, at least in the US at times. Back in 2015, you were better off getting the Japanese version of a game. That's actually why I got Sonic Jam for the Japanese Saturn and not US or Europe. Because I knew, one, the PAL version is going to run at 50 Hz no matter what I do with it. But the NTSC version was scarce. And as a game collector in some capacity or another, because, I do have complete ROM sets, I have complete good sets of many many different Sonic titles. Oh, by the way, Sonic title. Just full console libraries in general is what I actually meant. For those of you who are unaware, I'm just going to jump over to this for a second. If you're wondering why the background is just fully black, I think this was intentional by design on the part of Mark. I think what happened here was that the background was meant to fade out and probably convert into something else. Kawaii No does something like this with Spring Yard 3, in which you gradually see it turning into Clockwork, or Scrap Brain as some of you better know it as. Clockwork is its prototype name. And so yeah, I'm assuming that here you were supposed to start seeing, I guess, like probably maybe the old ruins from the prototype of Labyrinth, or maybe some of the buildings in Starlight. But sadly, at the time that this came out, when this came out for Sonic Hacking Contest 11, because this is the SHC 11 build, I don't know if there was another release after this. But yeah, so we end up in absolute darkness. Sorry, air bubble came up. I don't know what it is with me, Sonic, and air bubbles. What? I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Every time that Sonic takes in a bubble, it's a hiccup. Every single time that Sonic, you know that? Yeah, that's a hiccup. In fact, G Sonic the Hedgehog, or as you folks know it better as Sonic Blast, they actually did a proper hiccup sound. And I think to this day, I think that G-Sonic is the only game that does this. Oh, by the way, yes. Force a Habit. Whenever you see me nearby an Orbinaut, it has to be killed. That's actually part of the reason. Now, because whenever you see me do anything Mega Drive oriented, you see that I show the amount of frames that the movie file is, and how many re-records or resets were needed. So in a scenario such as this, yeah, destroying those Orbinauts, each one took a hefty amount of save states. Like, there, you have to be absolutely pixel perfect. Oh, yes, that's actually one of the other fixes. So again, in many aspects, I kind of do find Never Stop Running to be a hypothetical revision 2 of sorts. There are invisible ceilings to prevent Sonic from actually being able to clip through things that you could otherwise do in the runs, and I'm sure that if other people in the Sonic speedrunning community were to get down on this, like folks such as like literally everybody in the book. Worcester, 2chan, Argic, Joey Baby 69, Big John, the list goes on and on. But I'm sure if you were to give any of them a ROM hack such as this, and do a full run of it, not knowing that there are specific changes and bug fixes, I know that everybody will adapt quickly, but there will be instances such as that invisible ceiling that will throw some of them for a loop. I know it did for me because this is actually my first full run of Never Stop Running. Yeah, this is my first full play of Never Stop Running, and it's nice to have at least some quality of life improvements that make the game play more as it was initially intended to. But I don't know, I guess some of us just like having to, some of us enjoy messing with those, messing with things that you would otherwise normally not do in general. No, things you would mess around with in general play and in speedrunning to just make the experience just go by quicker. And also, speaking of the camera issue that I mentioned earlier in part 1, same thing here. These buildings, the skyline is not supposed to be fully viewable here like this. You're only supposed to see, like, I want to say, like, the top, let's say, like, the top 20 or 30 rows or so. It's not supposed to be the that and the lower buildings. It actually kind of gives me vibes of level 7 in the original Streets of Rage. I still am trying to figure out where Streets of Rage is supposed to take place. Because I see, I'm assuming that Wood Oak City is supposed to either be a take on New York City, as I originally said in my co-op, in my co-op commentary that with Gabriel back in was it 2014? It was either 13 or 14. You know what I'm talking about. It was season 4 or 5. Man, we're all getting old. We're in season 12 of the channel now, and I'm still talking about commentaries from years ago. I guess old habits truly do die hard. I honestly forgot that I hit that monitor. Again, I do a lot of things in this particular recording of Sonic the Hedgehog MD that I don't normally do in my general play. So yeah, there will be some rare oddities. Rare oddities. Wasn't that the name of a title for? Yes, it was. Yes, it was for 8-bit Sonic 2 when I first did it in 16 during season 6. The nostalgia never gets old. It just never gets old. But what does get old is that I still want to know who thought it was a good idea to have us play the waiting game in that. Like, was that supposed to be an elevator? Or was that supposed to be some kind of... No, you know what? I take it back. Scrap Brain is just a big anus factory. So as a result, yeah, you are always going through mechanical things. Such as that. I mean, what, is that supposed to be like an air shaft or an airlock? Or, no. Airlocks are what you use in space if the ship's about to blow up and you have to evacuate. You go through the airlock, and then you're in a capsule constantly floating in space, or at least. Oh, yeah, it wouldn't be a Sonic the Hedgehog commentary for me without having to do that on the wheel. But no, actually no. No, the airlock, if memory serves correctly, yeah, it was one of those bits in Cyberchase for real. I think Maya screwed up one of the procedures on one of the rocket ships. It was either a rocket ship or something similar to the USS Enterprise. And because she did the wrong sequence, everybody else had to evacuate the ship. They got in the airlock. She was stuck on the ship. So she's there, stuck floating in space forever. Fortunately, it was just a daydream. But yeah, I don't know why that came to mind now. I don't know why that had to come to mind now. Maybe it's because WGBH's WGBH Kids channel, or as it's just called, GBH Kids now. I'm never gonna let that down. I don't like it being called that. I don't like it being called GBH, and I never will. But, and oh, are we gonna trigger the glitch here? Oh yeah, that's right. You can't do it. It's not like how. Yeah, it's not like how you could in older runs. You probably could do it in a task. You probably could do it if you played a waiting game, but no, not this time around. But yeah, it's because WGBH Kids was airing. They've been re-airing season 1 of Cyberchase. And I've been watching it from the get-go. I can't get enough of the entire cast. I mean, come on. You couldn't have asked for a better series from PBS, or more importantly, WNET. Yeah, Channel 13 in New York and New Jersey. I mean, come on. When would you ever expect we'd have an Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog spiritual successor in the form of, Christopher Lloyd as the hacker? That's the hacker, too. Or, what about Gilbert Gottfried as Digit? I know, I don't sound perfectly like Gilbert Gottfried, but it has to come in the form of some training. It sounds easier when I'm not on microphone. Maybe when I'm not in the middle of a commentary. I mean, I've been talking for a little over, 40 minutes. Let's not forget there was a pit pot station break. It just never gets old around here. It never does. So, as I said, retroactively, the Egg Crusher was renamed to the Egg Pistons for Metallic Madness Act 1 in Mania. Which makes me wonder, was it always called the Egg Crusher in Japan? Oh, and of course, favorite thing in the game, wait for... Oh, really? I forgot that I did that! Okay, so I did the one thing that you're not supposed to do, and that is go backwards. Now, normally you're not actually supposed to go into that back area, but of course, because Never Stop Running was coded in the way that it was, yeah, Final Zone will always act like that. No, what I was actually thinking was going to happen was what most speedrunners do. When you go to the left, you know, you get caught by the invisible wall, then you run back, you do a jump, and then you notice that there's a block of Robotnik. The part where Robotnik would normally show on his capsule in the Egg-O-Matic is missing. And that's why we always jokingly use the term decapitation whenever that happens. Whenever that happens. So we didn't get decapitation here. All we got was non-existent Robotnik. Yes, Robotnik is down. And that actually brings us to the end of Never Stop Running. Actually, no, it does not bring us to the end of Never Stop Running. There's still one more thing that has to happen at the end of the credits. Because, as I told you, this game is the ultimate Fitbit experience. So, absolutely, there has to be a results screen. Now, any of you who grew up with Sonic the Hedgehog at Sage 2010 like I did, you'll know that at the end of the game, there will be a screen that will show, and it will basically show you all of your best stats. If memory serves correctly, I want to say that Sonic the Sagehog, as I called it back then, had I think if you went to the left, it was not the Retro Channel section, but it was another section. Could it have been the Time Attack menu? Because I know there was like a zone rush or marathon mode where you just completely go through the entire thing, and then at the end it will show all of your stats. I don't remember if the boss rush mode did that either. And honestly, actually, speaking of which, because of course that was a Sinosu work, what I remember, because I remember just casually hanging out in school. And I would go into, I would be going to Sonic Retro, and one of the things I found was, of course, when Mark introduced the Void. The Void is literally just a black background with a nice square grid. And I actually don't remember the last time that was used in at least a ROM hack by him. There is a boss rush mod for Mania. I forget if it's Mania Revision 3 or if it's Mania Plus Revisions 5 and 6. But you basically end up going through all the no, it was Mania Plus Revision 5. Because at that time, yeah, Revision 6 was not really as relevant at that point. And in fact, if you're playing Mania Plus Revision 5, which has a Denuvo version 4 Revision 9, you want to play that on an SSD. Do not play that on a hard drive. And if you have the and if you happen to have it on a lower end CPU, try your best to overclock the CPU, because yeah, it will allow for it to load faster. But for many people, I would just say, just get Revision 6. It'll load up easier on your hard drive, and you don't have to worry about the DRM handicapping its overall performance. I'm sure that even on version 4 Revision 5, it would bring a 5950X to its knees. But you saw there at the end, you saw all the Fitbit stats and whatnot. Again, very fun experience, and until Kawaii No came out, this was actually one of the better options for just casually playing Sonic the Hedgehog. It's like if you wanted to just have a seamless experience, enjoy all the cutscenes, and just go through the motions, this was your best course of action. And even today, I would say if you're not going to play Never Stop Running or Quarry now, Mega Mix's classic mode, at least in the Mega Drive version, is ideal if you don't. If you don't want to have loading times. If you don't want to have loading times, I would just say play version 3.5. Well, unofficial, yeah, the unofficial final build of Mega Mix on the Mega Drive before it got moved to the Sega CD. And the rest is all kind of self-explanatory. If any of you want to play Never Stop Running, it is down in the program description, at least for those of you who watch this online. And, yeah, so we'll probably come back to another ROM hack down the road for Part 3. And then Part 4 is going to be a ROM hack that I promised a long time ago. I promised we would talk over Nineco Edition. We're going to talk over Nineco Edition. Because I have a lot to say about that. That was actually one of the first ROM hacks of Sonic 1 that I played back in the day. And yeah, for the most part, it's what introduced me more so to music mods and just everything else that I would know about audio mods of Sonic 1 to begin with. But we'll talk about that at a later time. Hope you enjoyed this commentary, and I will see you again for some other relevant commentary down the road. Until then, my friends, thank you. Hey everybody, this is Post-Editing Roya here. Thank you for watching the premiere episodes of Royameadow Modern Legacy. This has been a concept that was north of half a decade in the making to help us revisit our older works, and also preserve many of our local projects as this side of our programming matures. We have firm intentions to go significantly further on this in the times to come, and you will be able to relive a lot of our older works in a new light and with the proper quality of life improvements that you see from us today. This commentary of Sonic the Hedgehog MD is dedicated to the life and memory of Caitlin Rastellini, a notable arch member of Royameadow Generation 2 that was unfaithfully put into physical retirement on October 29 of 2013 as the result of a vehicular accident. My revisit of the first Sonic entry was part of our Month of Sega 2 festivities at the time. These were being held during early Season 4 on November 4 of 2013, literally the day of her wake. And without Caitlin's impact, there is no way that I would have gotten through producing it. She has consistently been a major part of why I still produce original material today. The unity that she brought to me and everybody around us is what has kept me going, and I am happy that I can once again keep her properly acknowledged in our material after all these years later. She is the older sister figure that I wish I had around more while growing up, and I continue to remain grateful for the 3 years and change that we got to share in our friendship during her time in the life world. Caitlin Rastellini, Royameadow's true and eternal broski. Here's to you, old friend. I am forever happy for the courage and memories you have given me as existence has continued onward. Thank you again.
you.